I'm Sandi Toksvig, and this is What the Dickens, a show that takes a sideways look at art and culture. A bit like Brian Sewell after a bottle of port. Let me first introduce you to our intrepid team captains on my right. A comedian who won a Sony Award for his show on evolution. The ape that got lucky was in fact what the other nominees called him. It's Chris Addison. And on my left, a comedian who last year won the BBC's Maestro programme after proving she really knew how to handle a baton. She has since been headhunted by the Metropolitan Police. It's Sue Perkins. With Chris tonight is an actress and impressionist whose impersonations include Nigella Lawson, Fiona Bruce, Anne Widdecombe, and, annoyingly, me. If only I'd known, I could have taken the night off. Would you please welcome Jan Ravens. And with Sue is a musician whose album based on the life of Henry VIII has just been performed at Hampton Court. King Henry was a huge egomaniac who had 6 wives, numerous children, drank to excess and loved going to war. Or as rock stars would call him, a bit of a wimp. Please welcome Rick Wakeman. Right, our first round is called 3 Steps to Heaven. 1 photo at a time is shown to each side to a maximum of 3. These are progressively easier clues, okay, to incidents and characters from a famous film, book or play. Now, 3 points will be awarded if the teams can guess the answer from the frankly impossible first image, reducing to just 1 point for the third, which is easy. Like a Sunday morning. But teams be warned, if you just can't fathom it, there are also bonus points on offer if the opposing team can steal your glory. Okay, so good luck. Chris and Jan, you are up first. Here is your opening picture.
Oh.
Got a man in a diving suit. I'm going to...
He looks pretty terrified.
Yeah, the look on his face, he wasn't expecting paparazzi to be there.
I think his suit may be a little tighter than he was expecting. By the looks
That
of things.
chafes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's not the sea to sea, because that's too obvious.
I'm going to take a wild guess that you might need a second picture.
Yeah.
What do we think about this?
Well, it might be helpful.
Okay, let's have a look at our second picture. There we have, it's a brickie.
It's a bricklayer.
And rather pleased, we managed to find a picture when he's not on a tea break. Any thoughts there? I can help you with it. It's less about him and more about something that he's holding.
It's a trowel.
Yes. What else would he be? What else has he got?
A mortarboard.
Okay, I'm going to put the 2 pictures together and we'll have a look. We've got a diving suit and a mortarboard.
The diving bell and the butterfly.
The diving bell and the mortarboard, which is a famous little-known French film. Well, I think you need to see the third picture. Have a look at this. Number 3.
Oh, so
Yes.
look who it isn't.
Anne Robinson there, and it's...
The woman who's had her face renovated more often than an MP's swimming pool.
She does look like something you'd fish out the moat, doesn't she? Yeah. So we've got the diving suit thing going on.
It's a diving suit, is that the element?
Well, I'm trying to be mildly helpful. Mortarboard and Mrs. Robinson.
Oh, it's The Graduate.
The Graduate, absolutely right. Let me go through it for you. To sum up, the answer was The Graduate. In the film version, Dustin Hoffman's character is given and wears a diving suit. There's a wonderful moment. He comes out to the swimming pool.
Yes.
A mortarboard hat is worn by graduates. Okay, a slightly tricky clue there. I was trying to assist you. And Mrs. Robinson is the name of the character that seduces Benjamin Braddock. So 1 point to Chris and Jan. Well done. Charles Webb, okay, who wrote The Graduate. I love this. He and his wife, who's called Eva, have been labelled as the world's most notoriously eccentric arts couple. Does anybody know why?
Do they have an artist in who paints them while they're making love?
Actually paints them.
Do you know, I feel
Could you
slightly
keep still,
unwell
please?
now.
I'm trying to do the trick again.
I'm hoping you'll say no to that, because it's nice to be unique with something.
You'll always be the first and last with that one, Rick.
Out of interest, was it oils or pastels? Just so we know where we're headed.
Unfortunately, at my age, it's a very quick sketch.
Again, that slight nausea feeling coming through. Anyway, amongst other things, they also sold their wedding presents back to the guests.
That's good.
I could do
For a
that.
profit.
Yeah, it made money. They've given away 4 successive houses, and they once put all their possessions on their front lawn and told locals to come and get what they want, which I quite like as a sort of...
I've done that. It's called 3 divorces.
Help yourself, yeah.
You just put it on the lawn now, do you?
Yeah.
Save
right.
time.
I just give them the lawn. It's easy.
Who was it who said the best way, well, the best thing he's going to... Oh, sorry, dreadful thing. I think I'm actually going to quote Jim Davidson. Please don't broadcast this.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Do not broadcast this. Did he not say the next time I'm going to find a woman I don't like and buy her a house, it'll save time?
The great literary figure, Jim Davidson.
I know. Oh, it's a low moment in my career. In The Graduate, Mrs. Robertson plays the archetypal MILF. Does anybody know what I didn't know
Yes,
this?
I do.
Do you?
I've been called one.
Have you?
Yes.
What? Okay, then you can tell us in a polite manner what it means. MILF.
Mum, I'd like to fiddle about with.
Yeah.
Well, I'm told to tell you by the Broadcasting Standards Commission it stands for Mother in Late 40s. Over to you, Sue and Rick. Here is your first picture clue. Any idea who it might be? You need to go back in history a little bit. Any ideas who he is?
Bowling Lane makes me think he's American, maybe.
Yes, he is. He was. I think he's no longer with us. Politician? Yes, I think he's no longer with us. He was Vice President to Lyndon Johnson.
Oh, that doesn't help me in
At
any
all.
way. No.
Let's have a look at the second picture, shall we? Now, I've been told, Rick, you may know about this, they're a cricket team from Nottingham. Do you know what the cricket team from Nottingham is called? Do you know, you do play with cricket?
I used to play cricket, and I got hit with a ball in a place of the same name.
In the members' enclosure.
Are we saying you gave it up because you weren't very good at it? Is that true?
Yes, that's the truth of the matter.
Yeah,
I wasn't
right.
very good.
Let's have a look at the 2 pictures together because I feel this one's going so well. We've got an unnamed vice president. Think of other vice presidents. HH. His initials are HH.
Hubert.
Hubert Humphrey.
Humphrey.
Very good. And the Nottingham Outlaws.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I think so. It'd be one of the William books.
Yes.
With William and the Outlaws and
Just William.
Hubert Lane was the boy that William wanted to beat up.
Yeah.
And he's the
Okay.
right
So
one.
what is the answer? The answer is
Just William.
Just William. Well done. Fantastic. 2 points. So let's have a look at the third picture, and that is, of course, a picture of Her Madge looking splendid in violet. Do you see what we've done there? It's Elizabeth in violet. Do you see? So you got 2 points. Well done. Yes. Terrific. In the Just William series, William Brown is incredibly accident-prone. Although I have to say, not quite as accident-prone as his brother Gordon. Let's move on. The next round is called Love It or Loathe It, and our guests have chosen something, or possibly someone, I don't know, from the arts world which they either love or loathe. And what they're going to do is spend a minute trying to be equally convincing on both sides of the argument, and the other team have to guess whether they either genuinely love or loathe their chosen subject. Rick, it's your turn. What have you chosen to love and to loathe?
I've chosen opera.
Opera! Okay, and are you going to love or loathe opera to begin with?
I'm going to love it.
All right, you have a minute to do so.
I first really came to know opera when I was at the Royal College, because I was doing accompaniment for various tenors, student tenors. And I started to go and see performances, and I soon came to realise that it's probably the purest form of music that's ever written, because it has everything apart from the acting, great voices, wonderful storylines, and of course all the greatest composers wrote for opera. Which is almost a bit of a giveaway, because very few of, shall we call, the secondary composers wrote operas, because it was such a difficult form to do. I've been lucky to see opera all over the world, in all various languages, so opera for me, I will wade through boiling oil to go and see opera.
Okay, so now, having expressed your love, we need the opposing view. Please, would you now loathe opera?
It's stupid. It really is. I mean, one of the things that opera does, it repeats itself incessantly over. For example, the guy will walk on the stage and go, "I have a hanky, I have a hanky. Look, I have a hanky," and all the chorus will go, "He has a hanky, he has a hanky. What's this up my nose? It's a bogey up his nose. Oh, but he has a hanky, a hanky, a hanky." Oh, what's this in his hanky? It's a growly, it's a growly. They all sing growly, 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 growly. And they spend 20 minutes doing that.
I love the idea of the hanky, a Rick Wakeman opera. Right, you are going to...
what do you think?
You're going to have to decide. Does Mr. Wakeman love or loathe opera?
I think it's loves.
He bloody loves it.
You love it! You bloody love it.
Yes.
Right this time.
Very good.
So, 2 points to Chris and Jan for guessing correctly. When opera star Luciano Pavarotti left his wife for a younger woman, his wife was said to be crushed. As indeed was the younger woman. I have to say I am not a big fan of opera. If I really wanted to spend 3 hours watching fat people wailing, I could pop down to my local Weight Watchers for them. So, Daniel, what is your chosen subject?
My chosen subject is Sean Connery.
And are you going to love or loathe Sean to begin with?
I'm going to love him.
Right, you've a minute to do so.
Well, the reason I love Sean Connery is I think he was the first bloke that I saw in a movie and was like just sort of an icon of maleness. And my own father was rather sort of unprepossessing, and I think I maybe craved this big, strong, sort of, hunky, swarthy figure to sort of latch onto and fantasize about. And that lovely big black hairy chest. One of my favourite ever films, The Untouchables. Seeing him as Malone in The Untouchables, and that scene where you see the guy outside Racine 1634 and you think, oh my God, Sean's number is up, and he crawls across the floor when he's all been mashed up by machine gun fire and tries to make it to the other end of the floor.
Let's leave it there on that cliffhanger. I've never seen the film, so don't spoil it for me. We flip it on its head now, and Jan, you've got the exact same amount of time to totally contradict yourself.
Well, I first saw Sean Connery in the James Bond films, which I can't bear at the best of times, but I particularly can't bear him doing all those corny lines like, something big's come up. What I particularly can't bear is his performance in the film The Untouchables, because he won an Oscar for this film for playing a man called Malone, who is an Irishman. And he does the worst Irish accent I've ever heard. He starts off by sort of trying to do an Irish accent and then kind of going into American and then thinking, oh, sod it, I'm going to go back to Scots and have done with it. And just spends the entire rest of the film being Scottish and doesn't seem to care, and is awarded with an Oscar for it.
OK, now you have to make up your minds. Does Jan Ravens love or loathe?
We're of a single mind.
Sean Connery, yes.
I mean that generally. We're of a single mind.
Fine.
That's only Rick's.
Could that single mind give me an answer by any chance? Yes.
Loads.
You both agreed?
Absolutely.
Yes. Jan would please reveal the truth. She does loathe him. And so 2 points to Sue and Rick for guessing correctly. Sean Connery is a fiercely patriotic Scotsman and is frequently described as the greatest living Scot, something which justifiably fills him with pride every morning as he wakes up at his home in the Bahamas. Right, it's time for a quick break now, but in the meantime, can you at home answer this question? In February 1988, opera star Luciano Pavarotti received a world record number of what? We'll give you the answer on our return.